Hey guys, it's Mandy, and today we're going to talk about in the world of hip-hop. The feuds between Biggie and Tupac remain legendary, but those controversies seem tame compared to the swirling allegations and rumors surrounding Sean Diddy Combs today. As internet sleuths speculate and celebrities scrub their social media histories, one can't help but wonder if something more significant is afoot. What if there were recordings of powerful people at secretive events, guarded and hidden away to protect those involved? Joe Rogan recently delved into this explosive topic on his podcast, unpacking the stories surrounding Diddy. From strange rumors about deleted tapes to whispered conspiracies, Rogan approached the subject with his characteristic curiosity and skepticism. He questioned whether these are just wild stories, or whether they reflect deeper secrets hidden in Hollywood's elite circles. As news about these claims spread, Joe Rogan wasted no time offering his reaction. He described his shock at hearing the allegations against Diddy, noting the significant media coverage it had generated. Rogan has long been interested in examining the darker aspects of fame and celebrity, and he saw Diddy's situation as yet another window into the complicated and often secretive world of entertainment. What stood out most to him was the way these legal issues seemed to resemble the controversies surrounding Jeffrey Epstein, a name that for many has become synonymous with the ugliest aspects of power and influence. Rogan and his guests, such as Israel Adesanya, discussed Diddy's connections and the similarities to Epstein's network, wondering aloud whether Diddy's famed parties were more than just social events. Could these gatherings have been orchestrated for more nefarious reasons? They speculated that some individuals may have found themselves ensnared in uncomfortable situations where any evidence gathered could later be used as leverage. This darker theory seemed to echo the stories surrounding Epstein's events, where attendees were said to have been manipulated in similar ways. Rogan didn't stop at just discussing the specifics of Diddy's case. He also questioned whether this could be a turning point for Hollywood. Historically, influential figures in the industry have found ways to avoid accountability. But as Rogan pointed out, celebrities and executives who were once close to Diddy are now distancing themselves, likely in an attempt to preserve their own reputations. The media frenzy has also prompted others to issue statements clarifying their connections with Diddy, a pattern seen before in other high-profile scandals. Comparing Diddy's situation to that of Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby, Rogan suggested that Hollywood has often allowed this type of behavior to go unchecked for far too long. He wondered if this latest controversy would be different, whether it would mark a shift toward greater accountability for the entertainment industry's elite, or if it would fade into the background like so many others before it. One of the most intriguing aspects of Rogan's discussion was his speculation about Diddy's inner circle and the powerful names that may have been involved in his events. Drawing comparisons to Epstein's infamous list of associates, Rogan floated the idea that Diddy might also have a similar roster of high-profile individuals who had attended his gatherings. If such a list existed, it could expose celebrities and executives across the industry, sparking further investigations and potentially leading to new revelations. As Rogan continued to examine the implications, he pointed out that this case extends far beyond Diddy. For decades, the entertainment industry has allowed powerful people to operate with impunity. Rogan argued that it's not just about holding Diddy accountable, but addressing a much larger problem within the industry as a whole. Could this scandal finally prompt a reckoning, or will it become another forgotten chapter in the long history of Hollywood's secrets? Joe Rogan continues to dive deeper into the controversies surrounding Sean Diddy Combs, particularly focusing on how Diddy's alleged actions connect to broader concerns within Hollywood. As Rogan compares the current situation with past industry scandals, he raises critical questions. Will this be the moment when things finally change, or will Hollywood continue to protect its own? The central theme of Rogan's analysis revolves around the way powerful figures manage to stay insulated from the consequences of their actions, often due to their vast resources and extensive connections. He challenges the audience to consider whether the entertainment industry will ever truly hold itself accountable, or if these revelations will simply fade into obscurity, like so many scandals before them. Rogan's exploration of Diddy's situation touches on conspiracy theories, suggesting that this could be a moment of reckoning for the industry, or, as he warns, another mystery that disappears without resolution. At the heart of the controversy is the rumored existence of the Diddy tapes, which Rogan and his guests have dissected on multiple episodes of The Joe Rogan Experience. The speculation surrounding these recordings is one of the most gripping elements of the ongoing saga. Allegedly, the tapes contain footage from Diddy's infamous parties, and some believe they feature compromising situations involving high-profile individuals. Rogan entertains the idea that these tapes, if real, could have serious consequences for the entertainment industry. As Rogan discusses, the potential existence of these recordings raises numerous questions about how they may have been used. Drawing parallels to the notorious tactics of Jeffrey Epstein, Rogan suggests that Diddy could have used the tapes as leverage over other powerful figures. However, the exact origins of these recordings remain unclear. Federal raids on Diddy's properties have fueled speculation, with reports suggesting that authorities may have been seizing evidence or even erasing digital files. Throughout these discussions, Rogan and guests like Andrew Schulz have also examined the media's role in controlling the narrative. Rogan often critiques how the press appears to downplay stories involving influential figures, suggesting that some powerful individuals may be using their clout to suppress damaging information. The media's tendency to let such stories fade into obscurity, Rogan argues, leaves the public with more questions than answers. One of the more intriguing theories Rogan explores is that these tapes were part of a larger scheme to entrap celebrities. The idea is that Diddy's parties might have been staged to gather compromising material, a method not unfamiliar in Hollywood's history. Rogan points out that if the tapes were ever fully revealed, they could potentially implicate numerous celebrities who once considered Diddy an ally. However, Rogan remains skeptical, cautioning that while the idea of the tapes is captivating, the lack of concrete evidence makes it difficult to separate fact from fiction. He urges listeners to remain cautious about jumping to conclusions based solely on speculation. Rogan's commentary also delves into the infamous white parties hosted by Diddy, luxurious gatherings that were the talk of Hollywood. However, Rogan suggests these events may have had a darker side. According to rumors, some attendees were unknowingly recorded, with these recordings allegedly used for purposes of control, a tactic eerily similar to other notorious operations. On the podcast, MMA fighter Israel Adesanya reflected on how lucky he felt to have avoided attending one of these parties, despite being invited. His story highlights the sense of unease surrounding these events and fuels further speculation about what may have occurred behind closed doors. Rogan suggests that many attendees may have unknowingly put themselves in compromising situations during these gatherings. He and his guests speculate that substances were often present at these events, possibly lowering inhibitions and creating an environment where manipulation could occur. Rogan draws parallels to past celebrity scandals, where fun social events often blurred into situations of control and compromise. In discussing why so many high-profile celebrities continued attending these parties, despite the rumors, Rogan and Andrew Schulz raise an important question. Were these celebrities complicit or simply naive? Rogan explores whether the allure of networking and the promise of glamour lured them in, blurring the lines between personal and professional boundaries. This discussion highlights a broader issue in Hollywood, where fame and influence can easily cloud judgment and ethics. As the allegations against Diddy have come to light, Rogan notes a common pattern. Many of Diddy's former associates seem to be distancing themselves quickly. This isn't uncommon in Hollywood scandals, where once powerful figures are left isolated as their influence wanes. Rogan raises the question of whether other celebrities who attended these gatherings might also face scrutiny or consequences, as the nature of these parties could reveal deeper issues about Hollywood's culture. Rogan and his guests often focus on the broader implications of Diddy's legal battles, examining how they expose a culture of protection within the entertainment industry. The allegations against Diddy are not just isolated incidents, but part of a larger pattern, where powerful individuals have operated with little fear of accountability. By comparing Diddy's situation to past scandals involving figures like Harvey Weinstein and R. Kelly, Rogan suggests that this could be another catalyst for change in Hollywood. However, Rogan expresses doubt that the entertainment industry will truly change, raising the possibility that Diddy's case could fade into obscurity like so many before it. He questions whether Hollywood will hold its powerful figures accountable or continue to protect its own. If the allegations against Diddy hold up, Rogan speculates that more high-profile figures could be scrutinized, particularly if the rumored Diddy list of associates surfaces. This could lead to a broader investigation into the power dynamics within Hollywood. As celebrities distance themselves from Diddy, Rogan and his guests discuss whether this is a genuine attempt to break ties or just a public relations move. With brand partnerships and collaborations under increased scrutiny, the stakes are high for those involved. Rogan points out how reputations and endorsements are deeply tied to public perception, making it even more important for celebrities to manage their associations carefully. One of Rogan's key points is that Hollywood has a long history of protecting its own, often leaving victims and whistleblowers sidelined. He highlights how, in many cases, high-profile scandals have resulted in minimal punishment, allowing the powerful to continue operating unchecked. Rogan wonders if Diddy's case will be different, or if it will follow the same trajectory, with the controversy eventually fading without any real consequences. As the controversy unfolds, Rogan shifts his focus to Hollywood's broader power dynamics, exploring how figures like Diddy use their influence to protect their interests. Rogan argues that Diddy's situation exemplifies how the entertainment industry shields its high-profile individuals from consequences until their actions become too significant to ignore. He frequently discusses how events like Diddy's legendary white parties, often presented as glamorous networking opportunities, may have served a different purpose, keeping influential figures under control by compromising them or gaining leverage. He reflects on past scandals to illustrate how powerful figures often operate unchecked, with their actions only coming to light once public pressure becomes impossible to ignore. Using examples like Harvey Weinstein and R. Kelly, Rogan suggests that Diddy's case may follow a similar trajectory unless the entertainment industry starts holding its influential figures accountable from the beginning. Rogan is particularly critical of how the media and public figures often manipulate the narrative to protect those within their circles. He suggests that Diddy's current legal challenges might reveal more than just the music mogul's personal actions. It could expose a web of complicity in the entertainment industry. According to Rogan, the fallout from this scandal could affect not only Diddy, but also those who have been closely associated with him, potentially damaging their reputations as well. During his discussions, Rogan frequently calls out the hypocrisy of some Hollywood elites. He notes how certain figures present themselves as champions of justice and accountability, but are quick to distance themselves when controversies hit too close to home. This behavior, Rogan argues, exposes a culture of self-preservation that undermines the authenticity of Hollywood's public image. He poses an important question: will this scandal finally force Hollywood to confront its power dynamics, or will the industry once again rally to protect its own? As the scandal unfolds, Rogan wonders how many more high-profile figures could be implicated and whether any of them will face real consequences. Looking ahead, Rogan speculates about the long-term impact of the Diddy scandal on both the music mogul and the entertainment industry as a whole. He hints at a potential shift where Hollywood's long-buried secrets might finally come to light. According to Rogan, the ongoing investigations into Diddy's legal troubles could be the beginning of a larger reckoning within the industry. He suggests that if federal authorities uncover more about Diddy's actions and connections, it might lead to other celebrities and insiders being implicated, creating a domino effect that could shake up the entertainment world. Rogan's commentary frequently touches on the potential for a broader investigation beyond Diddy, one that could involve many of his associates. He speculates that individuals who attended Diddy's parties or worked closely with him might now be at risk of legal or reputational consequences. As investigations continue, Rogan and his guests consider whether some of these figures will choose to distance themselves or even cooperate with authorities to mitigate their own involvement. Despite the gravity of the situation, Rogan remains cautious. He warns that while Diddy's legal issues could be transformative, the entertainment industry has a history of deflecting scandals and avoiding real change. Rogan questions whether the media and the public will maintain the pressure necessary to hold influential figures accountable, or if this controversy will eventually fade, allowing the cycle to repeat itself. He and his guests highlight the uncertainty of whether Hollywood is truly ready to face its past, or if this scandal will be just another in a long line that gets buried and forgotten. As the scandal continues to unfold, Rogan questions whether Diddy's case will be the catalyst for genuine industry change or just another fleeting controversy. The entertainment industry's power structure has been shielded from scrutiny for decades. But Rogan suggests that now may be the time for a significant overhaul, one that holds influential figures accountable and breaks the cycle of secrecy. In recent developments, Diddy's legal troubles took a more concrete turn with a trial date now set for May 5, 2025. During a court appearance in Manhattan federal court, prosecutors and defense lawyers clashed over key issues, including whether certain evidence should be suppressed and whether new charges could be added to the case. Diddy's appearance, alongside his family, marked a significant moment as the trial date looms. The hearing shed light on several major elements of the case, signaling that Diddy's legal battles are far from over and that more developments are likely to emerge as the trial approaches. As Diddy's legal case progresses, more details continue to emerge about the extensive evidence gathered by the prosecution. During his recent court appearance, he appeared more engaged and animated compared to previous sessions, even arriving in a beige jumpsuit, signaling a shift in his demeanor. The hearing focused on the large volume of electronic evidence seized from Diddy's properties, which included 96 devices taken during raids in Miami, Los Angeles, and a private airport in Florida. Of particular note, just one device contained over 90 terabytes of information, raising the stakes in the investigation due to the sheer amount of data involved. This evidence includes communications like text messages, emails, photos, and videos, and the prosecution emphasized that it would take considerable time to review everything thoroughly. One of the key issues being debated in the case is Diddy's bail status. Since his arrest in September, he has been held in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, a facility known for difficult conditions. His legal team has been pushing for his release, but two judges have denied bail, citing concerns that Diddy could pose a risk to the community or attempt to interfere with witnesses or the investigation. This raises questions about the legal precedents for other high-profile Hollywood figures in similar situations and how they were handled by the courts. Diddy's legal battle has sparked comparisons to other infamous cases involving powerful men, such as Jeffrey Epstein and R. Kelly. While the details of each case differ, there are significant parallels in how these individuals allegedly misused their positions of power. Epstein, for instance, was accused of running an organized operation that exploited vulnerable individuals, and his wealth and connections allowed him to evade scrutiny for years. Similarly, R. Kelly used his influence in the music industry to manipulate and control women, luring them into situations under false pretenses, such as offering career opportunities. Like Epstein and Kelly, Diddy is now facing accusations of misconduct, which include allegations of brutality and mistreatment. His accusers argue that Diddy used his status in the entertainment industry to control and exploit women. This pattern of powerful men misusing their influence to harm others has drawn significant public attention, and Diddy's case is being watched closely to see whether it will follow the same trajectory as Epstein's and Kelly's legal battles. In Epstein's case, his wealth and powerful connections, including ties to politicians, business leaders, and even royalty, provided him with protection for years. It wasn't until his arrest in 2019 that the full extent of his actions came to light, and even then, his influence initially led to a relatively light punishment. It was only after public outcry that the legal system took more serious action. R. Kelly, too, benefited from his fame, with many of his victims believing they were being offered genuine career opportunities, only to find themselves in compromising situations. Despite numerous accusations over the years, it wasn't until public pressure grew, especially following the release of the documentary Surviving R. Kelly, that the legal system finally moved forward with more significant consequences. The comparisons between Diddy's case and those of Epstein and Kelly also touch on the idea of systematic manipulation. Epstein's operation was highly organized, involving a network that allowed him to continue his actions in secrecy. Similarly, the accusations against Diddy suggest that his power within the entertainment industry may have allowed him to operate in ways that went unchecked for a long time. The cases of individuals like Jeffrey Epstein and R. Kelly highlight the disturbing patterns of control and manipulation used by powerful figures in various industries. Both Epstein and Kelly were not only involved in their crimes, but also had enablers and systems in place to help them maintain control over their victims. Epstein, for instance, used a network of recruiters and enablers to find and control those he exploited, ensuring that his activities went unreported for years. Blackmail and threats kept many silent, protecting Epstein's operations from scrutiny until his death, which ultimately revealed the full extent of his exploitation. Similarly, R. Kelly was known for creating a system where women were isolated, manipulated, and emotionally controlled. He also had individuals who helped him maintain control over his victims, keeping them cut off from the outside world. Like Epstein, Kelly used a combination of threats and emotional manipulation to exert power, creating a chilling parallel between the two cases. With Diddy now facing accusations of a long-term pattern of control and manipulation, many are wondering about the potential consequences he could face. If convicted, Diddy could be looking at serious prison time, and the charges against him include violations of the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, RICO. This law, originally designed to target organized crime groups like the mafia, has since been applied in cases involving powerful individuals accused of using their wealth and influence to commit crimes. The RICO Act allows prosecutors to group together multiple crimes into one larger conspiracy. In Diddy's case, prosecutors are alleging that he used his power, fame, and businesses to control a network of individuals who helped him carry out illegal activities. Even if Diddy didn't personally commit every crime, he could still be held responsible under RICO for directing or participating in the enterprise. This legal approach was also used in R. Kelly's case, where his use of his music business to exploit young women and girls was prosecuted under the same law, ultimately leading to Kelly's 30-year prison sentence. Many people believe Diddy could face a similar outcome to that of Harvey Weinstein, the former Hollywood producer who was convicted of inappropriate conduct and threatening behavior toward women. Weinstein's conviction marked a significant moment in recent years, as he was sentenced to 23 years in prison in New York and another 16 years in California. His case demonstrated that the justice system could hold powerful individuals accountable for their actions, regardless of their wealth or status. In Diddy's case, the accusations center around his use of influence as a music mogul to manipulate and control those around him, much like Weinstein used his influence in Hollywood to exploit aspiring actresses and employees. However, the outcome of Diddy's trial, set for May 5, 2025, is still uncertain. Legal experts are already weighing in on the potential challenges both sides will face as the case moves forward. For Diddy's defense, one of the most significant hurdles will be finding a jury that remains impartial despite the high level of media attention surrounding the case. In such high-profile cases, public opinion can be difficult to ignore, and potential jurors may have already formed biases based on the information circulating in the news. On the prosecution side, the challenge will be to prove Diddy's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. While there may be a substantial amount of evidence and witnesses, the prosecution will need to carefully build its case to ensure all jurors are convinced. Given Diddy's fame and influence, securing a conviction may not be easy, as his defense team is expected to mount a strong case in his favor. As the trial date approaches, many fans are also curious about the judge presiding over the case. The credibility and experience of the judge could play a significant role in determining how the case unfolds, especially given the high-profile nature of the proceedings. However, more details about the judge's background and past experience with high-profile cases will emerge as the trial date nears. Judge Arun Subramanian is currently presiding over Diddy's case, bringing a wealth of experience from various high-profile legal positions. Born to immigrant parents from India in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Subramanian has built an impressive career in law. He earned his Bachelor of Arts from Case Western Reserve University in 2001, followed by a Juris Doctor from Columbia University in 2004. His early career saw him clerking for esteemed judges, including Judge Dennis Jacobs of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit and Judge Gerard E. Lynch of the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York. One of the highlights of his career was serving as a law clerk for Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, which underscored his deep knowledge of the legal system. Subramanian's career advanced when he joined Sussman Godfrey LLP, a prestigious New York law firm, where he became a partner and handled various significant cases, focusing on commercial and bankruptcy law between 2007 and 2023. His legal acumen and litigation skills made him a prominent figure in the courtroom. Senator Chuck Schumer recommended Subramanian for a nomination as a U.S. District Judge for the Southern District of New York, a significant milestone in his career. Though his nomination faced delays, he was ultimately confirmed by a 59-37 vote, making history as the first judge of Indian descent to serve on this influential court. In addition to overseeing Diddy's case, Judge Subramanian is also involved in other major cases, such as the lawsuit against Ticketmaster and its parent company, Live Nation, which is accused of monopolistic practices in the entertainment ticketing industry. His background and expertise demonstrate his capability in handling complex legal battles, including the high-profile case involving Diddy. Diddy's defense is in the hands of attorney Mark Agnifilo, a seasoned lawyer with a strong educational background and extensive experience in high-stakes cases. Agnifilo earned his bachelor's degree in philosophy and political science from Connecticut College in 1986, followed by his Juris Doctor from Brooklyn Law School in 1990, where he won the American Jurisprudence Award for outstanding trial advocacy performance. Agnifilo's memberships in the New York State Bar, New Jersey Bar, and several U.S. district courts, including the U.S. Supreme Court and U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, showcase his broad legal expertise. Agnifilo is no stranger to high-profile cases. He previously represented Keith Raniere, the leader of a controversial group initially marketed as a multi-level marketing company, which later evolved into what many described as a cult. Raniere was convicted in 2019 on serious charges, including racketeering and trafficking, and was sentenced to 120 years in prison with a $1.75 million fine. Agnifilo's role in the case demonstrated his ability to manage complex and sensitive legal matters. Additionally, Agnifilo was involved in the case of Roger Ng, a former Goldman Sachs employee convicted in 2022 of bribery and corruption related to a scheme involving the Malaysian Sovereign Wealth Fund, 1MDB. These high-profile cases highlight Agnifilo's capacity to defend clients facing severe charges in intricate legal battles. The combination of Judge Subramanian's legal prowess and Mark Agnifilo's experience sets the stage for a legal showdown in Diddy's case. Both the judge and defense attorney have proven their competence in handling high-profile, complex cases, but it remains to be seen how Diddy's legal team will manage the significant allegations and evidence against him as the trial date approaches. During the trial involving the Malaysian Sovereign Wealth Fund, prosecutors contended that Roger Ng's actions caused significant harm to the people of Malaysia. This case showcased Agnifilo's ability to handle high-profile financial crimes. Following Diddy's arrest on September 16th, Agnifilo voiced strong disappointment with what he perceived as an unjust prosecution by the U.S. Attorney's Office. He maintained that while Diddy may not be without faults, he is not a criminal. Agnifilo also stressed that Diddy had voluntarily moved to New York to cooperate fully with the investigation, a point he emphasized as a demonstration of his client's willingness to work with authorities and proof of his innocence. As the case progresses, Agnifilo's defense will likely continue to focus on these points, aiming to portray Diddy's actions as cooperative rather than indicative of guilt.